So we are back to talk about 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 2. And this time we're going to be talking about Jenny and Sumit. So let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
Okay, that's enough of that. I just want to get straight into it. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. Y'all, I just have this to talk about, and then I got Manning, and I want to talk about some of the things that people are saying downtown to the social media, different social media platforms about this woman. So on this particular episode, right, we got to get a deeper dive into what was going on with Sumit. Now, in episode 1, we found out that Sumit had lost his job. And, this is the way they put it, that Sumit had lost his job and that, they had to move him back with the family because Sumit was unemployed, and I guess Jenny's social security check that she is getting from the US of A, right, is not enough to cover their bills. And of course, we know it never was enough to cover their bills. And so in this episode, they are, alluding to the fact that they're moving back. So they're back in the house. Jenny is not going to be contributing to the family. I believe Jenny is like 70. I'm exaggerating, but I believe Jenny is. Y'all, I got my house robe on. Okay, it is cold and rainy. It's cute, but it is a robe. Okay. So anyway, so in this episode, we start to deep dive into what is going on between Jenny and Sumit. Now, Sumit was working with his family on trying to open up a restaurant. And the father has retired. The brother is about to retire from his job. And Sumit is now going out, he and Jenny. Last episode, we saw that they went to a building that he had renovated, but did not have renovated properly. The family came in. Jenny came in first, went in first with Sumit to go and look at the property, while the family was on their way to come and see the property for the very first time. Sumit said that when he first saw the building, he thought that the building was big. And so when he did the renovations, of course, walls and stuff like that eat up your space. But it appears that Sumit never picked the right building in order to open up this restaurant for him and his whole entire family to get behind and work. Now they're living together and they're going to be playing together and they're going to be working together. Like, this is not going to pan out well for Jenny, especially since it has appeared that Jenny has not done anything since she has been with Sumit. And I mean nothing. I don't know if it's because Jenny worked a hard life while here in the US. I don't think so. Or if Jenny is just that type of woman who thinks that as long as she has a man, she doesn't have to really contribute to the income in the house by going out and being gainfully employed. So I don't know if she is able to even work there or what is going on. But Sumit has, I guess, according to her, been the main breadwinner in the household. I must say, before I go on, that I'm very disappointed with her because, women usually try to get themselves together right after a certain amount of time, especially since things have not, really panned out very well for her and Sumit. She got into that home that they were in, and I think that she got very comfortable there, and the two of them tried to manage, I guess, by her little first of the month retirement check coming in. Anyway, I won't say retirement anymore. because the next time I say it, take a drink. So we were watching them transition and go into the home. They're indicating that Jenny and his mom are having a great relationship. It doesn't appear to be that way, and I don't think it's going to be that way because, as I said, Jenny doesn't want to contribute to the household. And that's going to be an issue. That will be an issue here in America, right? If she's that old where she can't work and stuff like that, maybe she needs to talk about going into some type of other living, but maybe she can't take her little young husband with her. Anyway, so like I said, they go down to the restaurant, they look at it. It is not um sufficient, right, for what they had imagined. The family comes in and they say, where are we going to put the equipment, where are we going to do this, we're not going to be able to move around, we're going to be standing on top of each other, just trying to make a hamburger. So Miv wants to open up this restaurant to do kind of like American cuisine, and I don't know where he's getting that from. He's saying chicken wings and hamburgers and stuff like that. And it appears that the only thing that Jenny is able to make, right, is spaghetti, and doesn't know how to make a good spaghetti even at that. So she's out there, right? They're out there and they just making a mess of everything. Sumit goes around to another building that he's familiar with that is about to be vacant, right? Which is in the same vicinity of where his is. And, he tries to talk the family into getting this. I don't know where all of this money is coming from, where the down deposit is coming from. And so I'm sorry, I was looking at a comment. And so, it's just a whole mess and he doesn't have it organized. This week kind of put some puzzle pieces together, not the whole puzzle, but the puzzle pieces. Because Sumit is around right now scavenging for equipment for a restaurant that his brother is about to leave his job for. So I don't know if this is scripted, y'all. I just don't know what this is, but I'm just going to go based off of what I see. So Sumit is running around. He goes to a gentleman who was a friend of his. This is the job. We find out in this episode that this is the job that Sumit just recently lost. This individual says that because of Sumit, he lost his business. Now, he said that he had a restaurant that he was running. We saw him in the previous season where he was talking to Sumit about being gainfully employed in his restaurant with his friend. So the friend said that, he allowed Sumit to come in. The two of them were working together, but that he had other businesses that needed more of his attention. And he trusted that Sumit would take care of the business. He trusted him to do that. He said Sumit was doing okay at first, and then Sumit began to not show up for work. And when he would show up to work, I believe he said 3 times a week that he would only work for 2 to 3 hours. How can you run a successful business not coming to work, not opening it when you're supposed to? So this guy we see on this episode, we see this guy actually closing his business. He lost it. And he says that the reason why he lost it was because of Sumit. So I'm analytical. I think I've told you all before. I am very analytical. I watch everything and I listen to the words people say. The gentleman said that the reason why he lost the restaurant and why Sumit indicated that he could not be dedicated to working normal working hours is because of Jenny. That Jenny would complain when he got home that he was working too many hours. Now, this guy said when Sumit would open up the restaurant, if he opened it up, he would only open it for 2 to 3 hours at a time and that he would leave. Now, this is Sumit's friend. So, being the analytical person that I am, there was a couple of things that stood out to me. And I'm going to share them with you and you let me know what you think downtown to the comment section. I believe that Sumit got into this guy. It's okay. So I don't want to go ahead of myself, right? It's very coincidental that Sumit's friend would lose his business, and all of a sudden, Sumit and his family would open up a business behind them. I find that very, very suspicious. That's just me. And when Sumit is thinking about decorating, setting up the building, getting equipment, that he would go to his friend who fired him because he did not do what he was supposed to do in his business. How does Sumit and his family think that they are going to survive and run a successful business when you still got the same two negative players, in my opinion? And I'm wondering if Sumit set his friend up. I'm not saying he did. I'm wondering if he set his friend up for failure, thinking that he could do it better. You ever had somebody in your life where you're not their competition? They're not, wait a minute, where they're not your competition, but you are theirs, where they will try to do things behind your back, set you up, and all that, right? Just to try to be you, to take over what you are doing, to duplicate, but not erase, right? It's just very coincidental that Sumit would set up the same business that he was unsuccessful in running for someone else. Because what you put into someone else's, that's what's going to be the same effort. Those are going to be the same people you're going to get. You're going to always get in doing business exactly a duplicate of who you are. If you can't help somebody else's business run and help them be successful, you will never reap a person who will help your business be successful. Moreover, Jenny is not going to help. Jenny is saying that she can't do it. She's tired. She's an old hag, okay, at this point. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But Jenny is not helping out with the family business, does not want to be there. However, her husband is taking her back and forth for her to see this. This guy that was Sumit's friend had been Sumit's friends for years. As we all remember, he was one of the ones who was at the table talking to Sumit when Sumit got caught with a whole wife. And the family came busting up in the door when Sumit needed advice and stuff like that. This same guy would be at the table. So it is mighty funny that Sumit would allow Jenny to cause him to not work. Now, when Jenny first met him, he was going under a total different name and he was a telemarketer. Like a telesales or whatever he was doing. And he lost his job then. He is still continuing to lose his job. Jenny and Sumit may enjoy each other. And sometimes that unforbidden love is the one you run after, even though you know you shouldn't be in it. I've not seen Sumit grow as a man since he has been with a woman named Jenny. These are my personal opinions. Women, y'all know that when we get with a man, we're going to build him. We're going to multiply. Whatever. If he put 50 cents down on the table, we're going to make it $50. If he puts $50 down on the table, we're going to make it 5,000. If he puts $5,000 down on that table, we're going to make it grow. That is just fundamentally what we do as women. When we get behind our man and we love him, whatever he plants in us, we are going to birth it. Period. We are natural birthers of everything, and especially our husband's dreams or our man dreams. Some women do it and, never marry a man. So I don't want to make it appear that you can only be a married woman. But y'all know we're going to multiply whatever you give us. Why has Jenny not multiplied, but divided, subtracted everything that Sumit has given her? Here she is in retirement, and now she has nothing to show for it but running behind this young man that she is obviously obsessed with. She's living in a house with his parents. And Sumit goes to this guy's place, looks at the equipment, and says, I want you to give it to me free. If you hadn't of this business up, the equipment wouldn't be to him. Mighty coincidental that you would think that this was salvage material, that this was something that was just trash to me and worthless, and I would just give to you. Y'all, I'm just saying, his moves are very suspicious. Number one, even though he knew there was another building around the corner that was better for him and his family, he chose the little small one. His friend was like, I mean, come on, man, you the one fucked up my business. You messed it up. Now, Jenny, who don't have a pot to piss in, nor a window to throw it out of, who is unsuccessful in my life, I mean, in my opinion, she's unsuccessful, is now telling this man that his place is dirty and it's nasty. Well, if it's that way, your husband was the last one up in there. They say that he is the type of guy who has his hands in many pots and he just walks away from things. How convenient for you, Sumit, that he is that kind of guy and you're hooked up with him. And now he is telling him, the guy said, how much do you want to pay for the equipment? He wants it free. Then the guy's like, man, I can't give you this free. This is money. He said, well, what were you going to do with it? He said, I was going to sell it. So they're saying, basically he has failed businesses and stuff like that where, he just used this place to store, equipment and different things from all those failed business. But it's mighty convenient that those failed business items, those stoves and grills and all of that kind of stuff is valuable to you. So what is one man's trash must be Submit's treasure. Jenny says the place don't smell good and all that. And the guy said, y'all Americans are always complaining. Maybe. And it may be because we living at I think some of our lives is at a different standard than that. hmm But anyway, I digress. I didn't like the comment, but I understood it. Because if his vision of who and what Americans are is Jenny, dingy. She's always complaining about something but has nothing to contribute to the table. Her and Sumit are horrible together. The guy is saying, why is Jenny to blame for this? Because the guy and even Sumit said that Jenny called him and texted him all day. You know why? Because after all these years that Jenny has been in his country, she don't know it. That means you just living here. You haven't connected. So I went out and looked at some comments. So on Reddit, someone said, so we all can collectively agree that Sumit did not just lose his job and was unable to find another one, right? Either production asked them to do this if they wanted to remain on the show, or Sumit did this on purpose because it is usual in his culture for them to live under one roof. The second that Jenny and his mother started getting along, he just so happened to lose his job. So people are questioning that twist. Someone said this is the dream. This is his dream, is to live with his parents. He doesn't care if he has money because she's been living off of TLC and her social security. Jenny has this has worked out great for Sumit and terrible for Jenny. Someone said, I don't think you even kept the job. At least she worked when she was in the States. This guy just refused to work. He probably had a couple of jobs and got fired or quit. He is extremely lazy. Someone said, yes, this is all his design. And Jenny can't figure out what's true or not because she doesn't know the language still. So she's still taking the word of a man who had quite literally never told her the truth. Someone else said, normally I'm a little skeptical than most about stuff on 90 Day being a setup. But with you on this, I'm with you on this one. I also think it's funny that Jenny seems not to have figured out a damn thing about Indian culture. Nor has Sumit mom managed to figure out a damn thing about American culture, or at least Jenny's form of American culture. Someone said, I saw the life drain out of Jenny when they visited the cafe and she realized her husband isn't really smart. Someone else said, damn, after all these years, can it be possible she's never noticed his ignorance before? I mean, it looks like they are in the exact same position they were in at the beginning of their relationship. No progress in their lives whatsoever. Another person commented and said the cafe is the worst idea ever. Jenny, 67, now has to go back and work because he can't seem to keep a job. But my whole thing is this. Where is Jenny fighting and working with her man? Thank you so much, Lisa Taylor, for the $5 super chat. She says, Auntie, you look beautiful. Thank you, boo. About to go to bed. Thank you so much, sweetie. I appreciate you. Thank you. Randy Thompson said, if I move to a foreign country, I'm going to learn the language. Absolutely. Heavy Bears said, didn't Jenny briefly participate in a Hindu ceremony or something? Again, their storyline is fake. Lisa Taylor said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me find you, Lisa. There you go. Woes, the lady, formerly Miss Gigi, said, hey, Auntie, come here often, but really comment. I thought Sumit and Jenny were a thing of the past. They both are bloodsuckers and deserve each other. No romance without finance. I know that. I know that. Lisa Taylor said he's been wanting to move with his parents all along. Tanya said, and remember how Jenny left that apartment and using that half broom. Sugar 48 said Jenny is a horrible housekeeper. Yes, she is, because the mother was like, she nasty ish. Yeah. Someone else said, I thought he was cooking at a restaurant at some point, but then I was surprised when he said no one in his family knew anything about restaurants, which is why I'm saying, why would they buy one? Someone else said, and if no one in the family knows anything about the restaurant business, it's already an epic fail. Oh my word, did you guys take notice of what the filthy place looks like? And it's so small, you can't cuss a dog in there without getting hairs in your mouth. Someone else said, you know, right. And it looks like it will be illegal to open a restaurant with no running water. I mean, damn, how clean can you be without water? Someone else said, a cafe with no running water. What the WTF? Someone also commented, also the fact that Sumit used half of his savings on renovating the cafe, aka the hallway, for $1,000, meaning the savings is 2,000, is insane. What do you mean you're 36 and 67 and all you have is $2,000 saved up? Someone commented, did they say on 90-Day Diaries he lost his job for walking barefoot in the restaurant? This is definitely his dream come true living situation. But guess what? He did not, in my opinion, have to tear up his friend's restaurant in order to create his own and then come there without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of and no money to pay him. Where he has to tell his friend, let me make the money. Come here, let me make the money so I can give you the money. I need you to give me the thing up front. He offered him 3,500. His friend said no, it was 4,500, and he dropped it down for Sumit. But I wonder whether or not Sumit either on purpose sabotaged his business or just is as inept as we think he is. Something ain't right in the buttermilk. I'm sure that we're going to be able to find out about it. It doesn't, it's not looking right, y'all. Something is amiss. The dude agrees, like I said, to give Submit, to loan Submit the thing, but I can see him repossessing it very quickly. And looking at it, the thing about it is Jenny is one of those people that's an after the fact type of person. Number one, she should have told Submit that, you know, we could stay in our apartment and not have to take our money and put it in a restaurant if you can keep a job. Maybe, as one of the commenters said, they wouldn't have $2,000, but maybe they would have $20,000 if her husband was not lazy, could not keep a job. Submit has not kept a job since we've seen him on this show. Lisa Taylor says his cornbread isn't baked. It's not baked. Something is absolutely wrong with Submit. And have being coupled up with Jenny, who's absolutely lazy, and maybe at 67. So I didn't know Jenny was 67, but maybe at 67, she just tired, just dog tired and bone tired down to the bed. I don't know, but I am very curious about what is going to pan out in this season of 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, season 7, episode 2. And you know what? Just in saying that, why are they on this show? Why is Jenny and Submit on the other way? She been the other way for how many seasons now? 20? Something ain't adding up. And something absolutely ain't clean in the buttermilk. Anyway, y'all, did I get everything? So I did tell y'all that the friend agreed. Okay. But y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comment section. I just had to come back out and have a conversation about this real quick. But I really do want to get your feedback on what my title says. Sumit demands his boss give him restaurant equipment free, and why Jenny is to blame. Do you all believe that Jenny is to blame, that she is a contributor to the blame, or is this just all Sumit? Until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.